Hello class, my name is Shayna Bazella, and today I will be discussing part 3 of the case study project for SPCE 638. Just to provide a brief overview of what was previously discussed about the client, she is a female who is 6 years old with a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, and the behavior of concern that we focused on was noncompliance, and the intervention was functional communication training. Beginning with the methodology that was used to support and train staff, we first emailed the staff the behavior plan and training sheets prior to the start of training to give them an opportunity to familiarize themselves with the programs they would be implementing with the client. We then utilized the behavior skills training model during training, which involved instruction, in which we provided clear instruction on how to implement the program, modeling, in which we modeled exactly what it would look like when it's implemented, and then practice, where the RBT then practiced implementing the replacement behavior program under supervision, and finally feedback, in which they were given written and verbal feedback on what they did well and areas where they can improve. Regarding a measure of validity and integrity, although these were not measured during the time of the training, I would measure both going forward by doing the following. Starting with validity, I would measure this by conducting a combination of pre- and post-training assessments and comparing client outcomes to ensure that the training effectively improves staff performance and service quality. With regard to integrity, I would measure this going forward by implementing direct observations with fidelity checklists so that I can ensure that the staff are in fact adhering to the training protocols and procedures. These next couple of slides are going to focus on the integration with the BACB task list items. The first task list item that I'll be focusing on is I4, develop tactics for training staff to competently perform assessment and intervention procedures. So as I previously mentioned, the staff was provided with behavior plan as well as the training sheets prior to training. And during the training process, we followed the behavior skills training model, in which we provided instruction, modeling, practice, and feedback. This ensured that the staff members working with the client implemented the behavior reduction program competently. The next task list item that I will be discussing is I5, learn about performance monitoring, feedback, and reinforcement systems for staff. Beginning with performance monitoring, their performance was monitored through ongoing supervision and direct observation, in which the RBT was observed during the implementation of the behavior reduction program. Regarding feedback, regular verbal and written feedback was provided based on the RBT's observed performance. And finally, regarding reinforcement systems, I made sure that in addition to providing constructive feedback, that I also acknowledged the areas where they were doing really well through positive feedback. The next task list item that I will be discussing is I6, develop a functional assessment approach, for example, performance diagnostics, to identify variables affecting personnel performance. So throughout the process, I regularly observed staff during the implementation of the behavior reduction program, and during instances in which performance challenges were identified based on repeated feedback, we then held follow-up meetings with the staff members to discuss their performance, identify any barriers, and then work collaboratively to develop solutions. The final task list item that I will be discussing is I7, determine what function-based strategies to improve personnel performance. So we utilized the findings from direct observation and the follow-up staff meeting that we had in order to identify specific areas for improvement. Based on that, we then developed targeted strategies that were tailored towards addressing the variables that were influencing their overall performance. This included targeted training sessions to address their skill deficits, in addition to providing them with additional resources as well as hands-on support throughout the process.